everyone, and welcome to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast, the show that dives deep into the heart and soul of the economy, our small businesses. I'm your host, Maheen, and every episode, we shine a light on the small businesses that weave innovation and personal touch into the fabric of our communities. These local heroes are not just creating jobs, they are nurturing cultures, driving creativity, and igniting growth. From the corner store to the startup hustle, small businesses keep our neighborhoods vibrant, our choices diverse, and our economies resilient. And that's why supporting local businesses isn't just good sense, it's a cornerstone of a thriving society. Today, we're thrilled to have a conversation with a man who knows the pulse of small businesses, Benjamin Lefebvre, the CEO of Aeolus Digital, Inc. Stay tuned as we unravel the digital threads of the small business success. Before we jump into our conversation today, let's introduce our esteemed guest. Benjamin Lefebvre is an expert in digital marketing whose visionary approach to the industry has shaped the way small and medium-sized businesses interact with the digital world. As the founder and CEO of AIS Digital since early 2021, Benjamin has steered the company with a unique 360-degree service model that empowers businesses with effective, budget-friendly marketing strategies. AIS Digital is not just a marketing agency, it's a multicultural bridge that connects Canadian businesses with the global market. Now, without further ado, hello, Benjamin, and how are you?
I'm very good, thank you, and thank you for having me today.
Very pleased to have you with us this afternoon. Now, Benjamin, we'd love to dive deep into the concept, the inspiration, and the thought behind you finding AIS Digital. Can you share with us the genesis of AIS Digital, first of all, and like how your approach to digital marketing differs from the traditional agencies we see today?
Sure. I founded Aeolus Digital back in January 2021, so in the middle of the pandemic, basically. And the reason why, I was working for a big agency in the UK for about 10 years. And I was working for top 500 Fortune companies. So big brands with a lot of budget. And when the pandemic hit, I was with my kids, especially after the first lockdown, and I went out. And I was in a dead city. Basically, all the local businesses shut. The only places you could actually shop again were the big brands.
Right.
And so yeah, good job on that one for promoting them. But at the same time, the community is dying.
Right.
So it was a bit of a wake-up call. And I was thinking, why are they dying, basically, when they could actually be online? And what I realized is, A, they don't know how to do it. They don't have the budget. And usually they know they have to do it, but they ask a friend who knows how to do it, freelancer, but they don't have the 360 overview of marketing in general. So the idea was okay, I've got all that experience with those top 500 companies for the past 10 years. How can I translate it to small businesses and startups? And this is how Aeolus started, basically, trying to help, trying to understand their pain points, how we can make it affordable for them, and at the same time, giving them the best services. So the traditional agencies nowadays are more segmented.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a paid search agency, you're going to have a performance marketing agency, a SEO agency. This is great, but it means that you've got to pay not only for the service, but all the overheads and everything every time you actually hire someone.
Right.
So for small companies, it's not working. They can't afford it. So they only focus on one thing, or they go for the cheapest option. And most of the small companies I talked to said digital marketing didn't work for them.
Right.
And actually, when you have a look, you say, well, yeah, but you didn't do that. You had a problem here. Why did you do that one? Or because someone told me I should be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no thought process behind it or anything like that. So obviously, it's okay, there's a lack of knowledge, a lack of resources, and a lack of money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we actually tackled it and say, we need to offer those services. We need to be scalable on our side, but be lean at the same time, because we understand that small businesses can't just pay the same amount of money and top 500 company.
No, it's good that you mentioned the cost, because for many small businesses, budgeting for marketing can be quite tight. Ben, what are your top strategies for promoting a business effectively within such constraints?
It's very difficult to answer on that one, because we don't have one size fit all strategy in some ways. Everything depends on the industry. It depends on where you are. It depends on who you are targeting. It depends on your budget, what you can do as well internally versus externally, if you can afford it. So it really depends, but it depends on your goals as well. If you are really wanting some more sales quickly, you can have a look at some paid advertising, for example, and trying to get your message out there and sell your products. If you are maybe trying to raise brand awareness about like your shop or your company in general, in that case, you might want to go for something slightly different. So it really depends at what stage you are at. And again, I really struggle to understand how some agencies can offer like packages. They never change, and everybody's taking the same, and then they are staying for 3 months, 6 months, or whichever length of the contract. And at the end of that contract, they don't get anything.
Right.
They just spend money. And that's how then they say, it's not working for us. So yeah, no, but it's because it wasn't the right thing for you. That's different. So the tactics were different. The strategies were different. You shouldn't have done that. Full stop.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, digital marketing is such, on one side, everybody is using it, if you understand what I mean, social media, search engines, and so on. On the other side, there's actually a proper ecosystem behind it, and there is a proper discipline, proper knowledge, proper best practices that needs to be implemented. And usually people don't realize. So they think that they can actually do it when they can't.
Right. That's a good point that you made there as well, that not every solution or strategy can cater to all businesses altogether, especially for small businesses, because they're so different from one another. They require, I think, a hands-on one-to-one approach to plan out what strategies may work for them. But Ben, you have helped so many small businesses to go global in terms of their global marketing. Could you tell us more about the challenges and the successes of promoting businesses in overseas territories?
So the successes will entirely depend on the 3 challenges you usually face in there. The first challenge is legal requirements in terms of advertising and in terms of your products in general. So it could be a legal requirement across the board, or it could be industry specific, healthcare, or I don't know, it could there are some laws in different countries which really differ. So the second thing would be the language barrier as well. For example, if you try to target France, there's a law over there that said that you need to be in French.
Right.
You can't target anybody there in English or any other languages or anything like that. It should be in French. Now, if you go to the Netherlands, you can still target businesses, for example, in English. That's not a problem. In the Nordics as well. So the language can be a bit of an issue. If you think about Arabic, that's a good one too. Most of the websites from Canada or the US can't cater for the Arabic language because it's different. It's from right to left and all these kind of things. And some people can't actually do it. They need a bit more technicalities behind it. And the last one is the culture. Is your product and service fitting the culture? Do they need it? How do you promote it? Because what we realize in terms of culture is even if you have the same need for different products, it's not exactly the same need. You might need it for something specific, or in another country, they might need it for something different. They might also tackle it very differently in terms of how they would use it. They will also expect different information about the product or the service. If you have a look at Germany and Japan, for example, it's all about the data and the engineering behind it in some ways, of the product. If you go to France, it might be more about the benefits that you're going to get from it.
Right.
So it's really, really different, and you can't just translate things and say, okay, now it's in different language, we're good. So there's a bit more flexibility you need. And then if you've got those 3 things aligned, then usually you can be very successful because you're a new brand coming into a new market. You come from Canada, which is amazing because Canada, from outside of Canada, people think that it's great quality coming from Canada,
Right.
even if the Canadians think that actually not. But it's you need to play on that too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there's that. There's trying to think other challenges you can have, or other. I think that would be the main ones, actually.
Main ones, right?
Yeah.
But also, Benjamin, in a digital ecosystem that's brimming with content,
Mhm.
how can a small business owner truly stand out?
It's I don't think it just comes from the from the content or the creativity and everything behind, because you can be very creative. If you don't really know who you are as a brand, there won't be any consistency and people won't click. So I think it's more like, in terms of, take a step back, see as a company why you created this company, why you decided to push those services or products, really understand your brand and where it is at. From there, you can actually create an ecosystem that really fits the brand, and you can actually transmit it to other people. It's I like a small exercise you can do. Imagine that you're in a pub or in a bar, and then your brand is actually a human coming into the room, and your friend is asking who that person is. You should be able to describe exactly who that person is, like in terms of personality, in terms of how they've been helping you, why you like them, and all these kind of things. If you manage to do that, then you can actually transmit it to other people, because you can actually promote it. So once you've done that exercise, you need to make sure that your online ecosystem is really, really relevant and really sticks to who you are as a brand. And once you've got that, you can go for the creativity. And there is something we notice as well, is once you've got that strong positioning, you don't need a lot, because it's good. So quality over quantity. When you see some people, some businesses going into social media, into a lot of different platforms, and they just bombard with content. There's no purpose behind it, but because everybody does it. And you think that, that could be a theory, that the more you bombard people, the more they're going to answer. However, we are all saturated. When I have a look on Facebook on my own profile, man, I'm receiving some stuff just like, that is not for me. That is not what are you doing here? And I feel overwhelmed, and I shut Facebook. So what is the point? I would rather have less, but something more relevant.
Right. Again, quality over
exactly.
quantity.
And I think this is something people don't get most of the time. And the lack of strategy as well is a big thing. People often kind of make strategies and tactics. Right. So tactics is the way to fulfill the strategy, but you need a strategy. And you also need to make sure that whatever you do in terms of the digital marketing ecosystem, it's really, really well crafted with your sales team. Your sales team should be able to carry on what you've been creating with the digital marketing ecosystem. It's an inbound marketing exercise. So if you bring those people to a certain point when they can actually convert, your sales team should be able to take over and actually carry on the same journey.
Yeah.
If there is a massive breakdown between the two, probably you won't have that many conversions, even if you've got a great sales team on one side and a great digital marketing team on the other side.
They have to work consistently.
They have to work together.
So Benjamin, you've given some great tactics, but I believe if they're consistently done, it can do wonders for small businesses for sure. Now, let's hear from your own personal experiences with AIS Digital Inc. Reflecting on your journey and where the platform is now, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs and small business owners who are just beginning to explore the digital landscape?
Ooh, it's very difficult, because one side of me can tell you, for the past 3 years, I've gone through a lot. And the other side is it's only 3 years. So how can I actually give advice to people? But at the same time, what I've noticed is don't lose what you've been don't lose yourself in the process.
Right.
When you started something, you were a certain person, and the more you work and everything, you can easily get attracted by other things. You can also lose focus. You can also because it's a very lonely journey as an entrepreneur. It's very easy to become your worst enemy.
Right.
Because a situation, the exact same situation, one day can look super good, another day can look super bad.
Right.
It depends on your mental health. And I think that's one of the big things, one of the biggest things you've got to take into account is your mental health. So you hear a lot out there, you need to work. Usually what happens with entrepreneurs, they want to create something for having the freedom to lead their life the way they want.
Right.
They want to be free. And what you hear out there is like, you need to work. You're going to have to work like in the evenings and all these kind of things. The reason why I did that is for two reasons. Main reasons. The first one was to help small companies and startups. But the second thing, I wanted to see my kids. And I've got 3 kids.
Right.
And no, I completely refused to get my business over my family, if you understand what I mean. Because my family, is the only ecosystem I've got on my side that can carry me and support me in that journey. So yeah, it's be well surrounded. Try to be surrounded by entrepreneurs as well, because the journey they are living is probably
Similar
the same.
yours, yes.
Exactly. Don't listen too much. If you ask an entrepreneur how business is going, it will always be like it's thriving.
Right. 2
months later, you don't hear about that business anymore, went down. But feels like in that the entrepreneurs feel that they've got to show everybody they are successful already.
Right.
When actually it's not really the case. You can have up and downs. And there are some times when you're going to be super tough and so on. And the business that make it are actually the ones that are following through and pushing through. And if you give up, yeah, of course, it will go down.
Right.
But you need to hear from other entrepreneurs that no, success doesn't happen overnight. And success is not just like, as much as it's a goal, there's the journey going to success. And some people have it very lucky, and it can be like within months. That's great. Some other people might take like 3-4 years.
Right.
So, and it's not a big issue as long as you do it the way you feel comfortable with.
Oh, it's good. It's good to kind of, seek advice from time to time, share your struggles, and hear from how people did, overcome from their struggles. But thank you so much, Benjamin, for spending time with us and for sharing such invaluable insights on the topic of digital marketing. With we're seeing so much digital transformation all across the globe, and your insights today were very helpful. So thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for having me again.
It's been a privilege to have Benjamin with us today, sharing invaluable insights into the digital marketing world. A big thank you to our partners for making this podcast possible. RBC, our exclusive banking partner, UPS, our exclusive shipping partner, and Xero, our exclusive accounting software partner. We're incredibly grateful for their support in championing small businesses. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in. If you found today's conversation enlightening, don't forget to subscribe to the Canadian SME Small Business Magazine for more powerful stories and strategies. Until next time, keep supporting local and keep growing.